Bet you didn't see that one coming, didn't you? Got my hair done over the last week. And here I'm back with a Monday Night Raw review. Yeah, it's been a long ass time to talk about that show. And specifically, we are talking about the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. It's like 30 years of Raw. Like, it's like, it's your shit goes where, like, life moves way too fucking fast. And yeah, it really emphasized it with Raw being around for so many years. Like, I started watching it for about only 17, 18 years now. But I really watched most of the history of this show, and the and to see it and still going around for 30 years, and hopefully the next 30 years, hopefully in a better position than it is now. Like Triple H, since his position when he started being the head of creative about like 6 months ago, most of the roles have been either been hit or miss. There have been some good roles and there have been some absolutely dreadful roles. And I can honestly say that this role was probably the best role that Triple H has done ever since he took over creative. Like, not every thing or that every moment of that anniversary show was a hit, but there were a majority of the good things that kept it and made it good. And I dare say, like the last, like, well, not the last, but like the first hour of that show, probably one of the best first hours in Raw history. Well, except for that Hulk Hogan thing, like, he came out, he literally came out, and then gloss, and then, oh, by the way, Hulk Hogan got a very, very lukewarm reaction. Like, that probably one of the weakest reactions I have ever heard out of Hogan. And then he really didn't say much. He talked about the Raw anniversary, except for the time when he got his microphone off. Like, every time he tried to speak, the microphone kept cutting off until one of the producers had to give Hogan a new mic, and then he had to finish all his promo, and he put over Philadelphia Eagles since it was in Philadelphia. And yeah, nothing much to say. It was just there. So that was kind of pointless since he really didn't do much. And then you had the intro of the greatest moments in the show's history. It even included some people not even involved with the company, with Jericho, Bryan Danielson. I think Big Show was no, was he? I don't know, but Jericho, Bryan, those guys like that were on it. But and yeah, there were a lot of great moments throughout the 30 years history. And we got probably one of another great ones in the history of the 30 years of Raw. Especially with the trial of Sami Zayn. Like, holy shit, Batman. What a fucking of a roller coaster this segment was. You got you got Roman Reigns coming out. The whole bloodline surrounding the ring. There's a table involved with the Usos and Heyman on one side. Sami on the other side. Sam Solo is like just staying there. Like he's the enforcer of this whole group. And Roman Reigns literally being at the head of the table. Paul Heyman like got a great kick out of me throughout this segment. Like at first the crowd was chanting ECW because it was in Philadelphia. And Paul Heyman took it and he said, "You guys are chanting something that's dear near to my heart." And then he patted out to Roman and they said, "ECW's dead." And I reached for Sami saying the crowd turned fucking no new leaf. And Heyman just belittled, just burst out the most painful words you could imagine for Sami. He berates this poor man. He calls him a Judas, a betrayer who has conspired with Kevin Owens to stay on. He said that Sami has been leaning on them like the defensive Eagles who were conquered by Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. And then he presented evidences of against Sane towards him where once he bailed out after the Uso got attacked by Drew, when Sami didn't help Jay during a match against Owens on Raw. And then on the Survivor Series, he celebrated alone after the War Games, him by himself on top of the cage, doing the "We Are the Ones" song. And then December 23rd, when Sami was cutting a promo heading toward him and Roman's match against Kevin Owens and John Cena, he accidentally hit Roman on the shoulder, which was noticeable. Heyman took it from it. And Heyman wondered if Sami was planning this assassination of Reigns from within so he could become the head of the table. And he said the court should found Sami say guilty as charged. That was a little throwback to ECW pay-per-view actually named guilty as charged. You can actually Google up. It's actually called like that once, a ECW pay-per-view. And then Sami, be hurt by it, said he had a whole defense of it, but then he later admitted hearing Heyman saying all these, that it was hurtful hearing Heyman saying all these things after everything they've been through. Sami was offended by it. He will try to defend himself, and he emphasized how much it hurt him, and he said basically his only defense is he has no defense, which infuriated Reigns, and that he said Sane has so much ego, he won't even defend this after letting him into the family, after everything they've been through, he won't defend himself. And then Roman got really pissed, said, "Solo!" and thrust the mic furiously. And Solo, when he was about to put us some on the spot, you don't know, they're gonna fucking murder this poor kid. When out of nowhere, here comes Jey Uso, the one guy that Dallas said throughout this entire storyline, until Survivor Series, the one guy that was Dallas throughout this whole thing. He saved Sami and actually produced an old video and old packages from himself. So he presented his own clips going back with helping the bloodline, how much he sacrificed himself with Sami helping the user retain one of the tag titles at a SmackDown episode, where he say a Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre to Roman and basically hitting himself just to protect Roman, and then helping again the use of the tag team title, and then basically winning the War Games match for the Bloodline at Survivor Series. And Jay said he's taken the bullet so many times, he might as well bulletproof. He's saying never give up on him, and that's because that's what family do. And he has to put everyone's in the sky with the face they want to see Sami stay in. And yeah, Sami is not guilty for now. As Roman said, he will give Saint one final test at the Royal Rumble to really see if he's bloodline or not. And that's just how the segment ended. Holy crap, what a fucking great segment this was. Like, you had everything from the Heyman berating Sami, Sami so real feeling hurt by it, Roman then getting infuriated that he won't defend himself. And then after all the months, after Jay doubting Sami being the bloodline, also berating him at times, he finally takes the bullet for Sami, takes the bullet for him by saving him, having the Samoan spiked by Solo Sikoa, and him being put into the bloodline. And then the one final test for the Rumble, like, you gotta assume he's gotta be involved in the undisputed title match between him and Kevin Owens. Like, the whole build-up has been basically about him. This whole story with Roman and Kevin has been pretty much about Sami. Like, Sami's whole story, and you gotta think it's gotta lead to the Roman Sami match soon. Where there's like Elimination Chamber Montreal, which will be a great place to do that match. Or, and I've seen some people suggest the WrestleMania, because Sami say it's basically the hot thing in the company right now. And we're having all the momentum towards with him. A lot of people saying Sami should win the Royal Rumble and challenge Roman Reigns to WrestleMania. I don't know if that for sure will happen, but you're not gonna hear me complain once for me if that were to happen, because man, I fucking love this storyline. He also, Heyman got a kick out of me when he said when Sami did the 4 Life Dawn at Survivor, and he said, "Why is it? This is the Dangerous Alliance, the NWO." And he called one of him and Kevin Montreal conspiracy, like something about Montreal that made me laugh. But like, yeah, I fucking love this segment. I love this storyline. The best thing in the entire company. And I can't fucking wait to see where it goes. And then you got another great segment with the Usos versus the Judgment Day for the World Tag Team titles, as halfway through the match, Jay got hit a suicide dive but came up injured, and the Red did the yes sign, which Adam Pearce came out, was going to declare the World Tag Team titles to the Judgment Day, but then Sami thought he wants to be involved. He wants to be in this match, which as a substitute for Jimmy Uso, which then Adam Pearce agreed, and then we got to the match, and that was a really good match. Like, they really had you believe a moment that Judgment Day were going to take those tag team titles, especially with Sami being in. You thought, like, with him tagging with Jey Uso, you thought something would happen. But then it didn't. And Sami and Jay won the match clean. And they really celebrated. They're like touching buddies now. And yeah, this was a good ass match. And the crowd was hot for the Sami and Jay moment. That was great. We got all that out of the way. They show all the pictures for all throughout the year. They did it throughout the night. Then LA Knight came in. He was doing his usual thing. LA Knight, I have to say, is one of the one of the highlights out of that SmackDown show. That he's really he's become a tremendous performer. Like you can tell, he was pretty much destined to be on a stage like this. That he's really that good on the mic. And then the lights went out, the gong hits, and then Kick Rock plays in, and then it's The Undertaker, but the American Badass version of Taker. Like, what? Like The Undertaker American Badass, like I couldn't believe even watching back like a few days ago when it happened. And it's like it's so surreal and it's a cool moment because like we haven't seen American Badass Taker in many years throughout 2 decades. Since 2003 we haven't seen this side of Taker. And the motorcycle entrance like was kinda a bit buggy, like he went full slow walking. I don't think the motorcycle entrance was the same without the stage ramp because they had a ramp. This stage had no ramp whatsoever. But it was still cool seeing Taker this flesh of form. And so I marked out a bit when I saw him as the American Badass and he coming out to Kick Rock's American Badass song. That was fucking great. And LA Knight, I love him. I love how he took and I love him referencing the Joe Rogan podcast that Taker did like a year or two ago with him talking about the locker room being soft and stuff. That was great. That was some fun shit. And he was about to leave and he threatened to take the Undertaker back to the Undertaker, but he decided to let him off the hook. And then the lights go out again and it's Bray Wyatt with the lantern and which forced the St. LA Knight back to the ring. We take about to clothesline, but he then decides to get the break with the Sister Abigail. And they have a pretty cool moment that many people call passing of the torch. And there will be not one saying that as Taker literally gave the show about to hit the torch and then literally gave it to Bray. But that was a cool moment to him to see Taker basically telling Bray, and you couldn't hear what he saying. We might don't know what he said, but in no certain term, he was like in kayfabe, but he was telling Bray like, "This is your turn," and he walks off with a motorcycle, did a salute thing, and yeah, like. That was a cool moment, a really good ass segment. And then, like, here comes the steel cage stuff. With Bailey and Becky Lynch, the match that they hyped up to for a week. Like, they hyped up that match more than probably most of the matches, so, and it never happened. Like Bailey made her entrance to the ring, And while Becky was about to go her entrance, about to enter the cage, Damage Control attacked Becky. They chunked Lynch into the ring and beat her down until the official had to stop Damage Control, and then Bayley and her body and Damage Control pose. And yeah, that was the whole fucking segment. They did not even have a match. So apparently, the Bloodline segment, the opening one, went so long that they either gave the option with Becky and Bayley to either have a 2-minute cage match or do an angle, which that's exactly what they did. And it's like, I understand it, and I wouldn't change a thing for the world with that Bloodline stuff, but I don't know. There were some segments later on they could have easily cut and gave it time to this match, since they basically hyped it up for a week. Most of the stuff that happened later on in the show. It's like, damn, I'm sure they will have a match. And probably with that stipulation too, I imagine, they will have a match room. I hope. So I will ramble too much because I'm sure this is leading to a match room still. But it's still a shame not to see them, and I feel bad for the people, the workers that the production crew that had to fucking the crew team that had to basically fucking use the steel can and use it for higher buffering, only to not being used throughout this entire segment. You gotta feel for them. So there was the DS Kurt Angle stuff, which immediately was funny about with Raw Dog doing his old thing, his usual spiel with DJ Rachel and the tag team championship of the world, the World Dog yesterday, and then he looked back and then it's like, and he saw Kurt Angle, it's like, Kurt, what are you doing? And Kurt Angle said he always wanted to be in DJ Rachel, and then he removed the shirt to reveal the DS shirt. And then they were going on, and then Imperium came out and looked at the trend of all them and with DS and Angle, and trended to Johnson to end it to the match, and every single one that was like, okay, but and then no, I'm not gonna do it. Like every single one of them, I got Labrador to say was about to say something. They say no way, and then Angle, Michael, and Triple H basically could say they're retired, and like he was hoping that someone would come out and stuff, and then came out Seth Rollins, and then came out Imperium with Kurt Angle revealing a referee show, so we were gonna get Street Profits and Seth Rollins against Imperium. This was a fine match. Nothing much to it. The good guys won with Rollins and Profit. It was a fun match. It was a fun segment, I guess, with DS and Angle being there. And making Imperium a little bit of threat by them not to hit them refusing to trend it to Shawn because they know they're, the turn line, they're kind of old, they're retired. You don't want to be a win with those guys who've been there throughout most the past few months. So this was their way were kind of a little over Imperium, and it was fine. So then you had the Charlotte Bianca stuff, and this was the stuff I was talking about. they could have easily cut. Maybe do the Charlotte Bianca thing, but you didn't need Sonya Deville coming out and basically do the match with her and Bianca that went about, what, 7 minutes? 8 minutes at most? Like, they could have, they could have cut out for this, honestly, like, and like, maybe it's leading to something with Charlotte, Bianca, and Maya, but I don't want to fucking see a fucking unification, man. That would be so fucking dumb. But like, they could have cut out of this and gave it time to the steel cage match, you know. And then, you know, even with the Charlotte Bianca stuff was fine, but they didn't need to have Sonya and Bianca do the match. They could have Bianca pretty interview for all I know. And have fucking Alexa interrupt and do the promo anyway, so yeah. There was a missed segment in the ring. He was pissed he didn't get a segment on the title match. He thought it's the greatest thing ever and all that stuff. And then Kevin Owens hits the stunner and said he vowed to take the title from Reigns and all that stuff. He's holding the title hostage for 2 years and he's going to take it from it at the Royal Rumble. Like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, like, maybe he should have been, like, maybe after Sami and Jay won the match, he could have hit the stun and then cut a promo, like, from the stage towards Sami. He could have done like that, honestly, and basically saved face and gave him more time to the Becky Bailey steel cage match. So yeah. So then the main event happened between the United States Championship between Austin Theory going up defending against Bobby Lashley. So this show, one of the reasons why the first hour was so great, it was pretty much commercial free. And they really maximized the first hour with being commercial free with the Blonde Night segment and the tag team title match. But then, most matches kind of got suffered from it. I think the 6-man tag match, especially this match. Like, this fucking match, it was okay, but it had like 3 fucking commercial breaks. I swear they had to have at least 2 or 3 backstage. At least 2 or 3 commercial breaks. And then when you know it, the match, you will go to the finish with Bobby Lashley hitting the spears, something like that. And then Brock Lesnar comes in, he gets a F5 to Bobby Lashley, and then he gets a F5 to Austin Theory, and all that. And Theory was on top of Lashley, and he wins, retains the title, and the show cuts off right there. Like, what? Like, Brock Lesnar just came in, did his whole thing, and that was that. It was over. The weird fucking usage, the weird management in this match really kind of hurt it a bit. And yeah, well, the second to third hour wasn't nearly as good as the first hour of the show. They still had enough good moments to basically be a good show for the Raw 30th anniversary. It was in more cases. Also, you could have cut the Hogan segment. I don't know, because I don't know there was much purpose of him being there. But besides all the filler stuff with the woman stuff, and then basically cutting off Becky and Bailey match that was hyped up for a week. Besides all those downer moments, those filler moments, this show was pretty good, I say. And yeah, like, there's a lot of optimism and excitement for the fans since it's Royal Rumble season. Who knows what's gonna happen on on that show? But yeah, so that was my Raw review. Hopefully, Raw are as good as this, especially since WrestleMania season is about to hit. It's about to kick off this weekend. So yeah, so that's me signing off for this video. Like this video if you haven't, subscribe over there. Tell me what you think about Monday Night Raw 30th anniversary in the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Martinez, and I approve this message.